Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're checking out Kotobukiya's newest line of frame arms girls. These are the Qpmini series. They're basically like chibi little versions of the frame arms girls that we all know and love. So the first one obviously has to be the Gourai, the staple frame arms girls. Let's go ahead and get into it for today's review. And I gotta say, I love how they're keeping the same box art style as the regular frame arms kits, but obviously we have the new artwork here on the front, the chibi version of Gourai, and then a photograph of the painted model kit right there, so you can see exactly what the kit is gonna look like. And then going around here onto the side of the box, we have a front and back of picture of the completed model kit there, painted and detailed up, and then her weapons there. So this is going to be similar to the Gourai Kai, and then it has the freestyle bazooka there, it looks like. On the other side of the box, a look at our face parts, and as usual with the Gourai, not too expressive there for the main face, but then we do have a pretty expressive face for our alternate one there, and it looks like that maybe those are just going to be our two face option parts. But then you can create some other wild faces here with the included waterslide decals. So it looks like we have a really cool waterslide decal sheet that will give us a lot of options for a lot more different facial expressions that you can make with this. On the back side here, some more photographs of some things that you can do with this. Here it is compared with the regular frame arms girl Gourai. As you can see, it's barely coming up over the knee, so it is going to be quite small, very similar in size to like a hand scale Gourai, but obviously just different proportions. There it is, kind of mounted inside the frame arms Gourai kit there. Some larger accessories attached onto that, kind of kit bashing the two right there. And then also there it is with one of the Avoroids kits. Then we got a list price down here of 2,200 yen for this, so that puts it quite similar to the hand scale kits. And then I guess just to show you briefly, the ends of the box are just going to look exactly like that. Let's go ahead and pop it open here, see what we got inside. First of all, here is that decal sheet, and some really nice and quite expressive decals on there, so all sorts of different emotions and different cute faces that you can make there if you want to put some of these decals into action. And a couple little marking decals, and that one's there, those two are for the pants, so it's going to be mostly just face option decals. And then our instruction manual here is just a fold out sheet, it looks like. On this side we've got our color and decal guide, so laying out all the colors there for you, where the decals are going to go. So yeah, like I said, it's just a few markings here and there as far as the marking decals go. Not too many of those, but there's all the colors for everything. And then the rest of the manual here is just going to be going through the construction of the kit. So without anything too much more to note, as for the instructions here, the parts list is right there. And let's go ahead and take a look at the runners. And starting off with our pre-printed faces here, I'm realizing a couple of things. Number one is that, as always, the pre-printing on these looks amazing. You have there two, and then a blank one right here. But that the size of these and the connections for them are essentially the same as for the regular Gourai. So they're basically faces that you could use, I believe, at this point, I'll double check it for sure, but interchangeable faces that you could use with just the regular Gourai. So the faces, the size, and the shape of them is exactly the same as a regular version of a frame arms girl. And as we get into the rest of the runners, here is runner A in that kind of olive drab color here for the main color of the Gourai, and realizing that, yeah, it really kind of just is the body of the hand scale kit and the head of the standard frame arms girl, that it looks like that's going to be basically the case here for this. Here's runner B in that same color. There's those parts for that freestyle bazooka there, as you can see. Runner C here in skin tone for a few joint parts. Runner D for our hair parts. And yeah, this is very much the exact same size and shape as just a regular frame arms girl head. So yeah, that's really kind of what it is. A frame arms girl head with a hand scale body, essentially. And I think there's some new parts there just to kind of adjust the kind of proportions a little bit. But essentially what we got here is runner E there in black, as you guys can see. Runner F is here in white for a few more parts on there, like tank treads, the knife, the pants, a couple of joint bits. Runner H here for a few more flesh tone parts, and these are going to be newer parts to like make the thighs and the upper arms shorter to make them more SD. And then this part here for inside the head. And then we've got our hand option parts, closed fist, open hands, and holding hands here in black. And then runner I is our clear parts for a little base stand that we have included, so that's really nice as well. Let's go ahead and see how this looks when it's all put together. Okay, so not too long after, here is the finished product there. As you can see, she's going to be quite small, but yeah, again, it's basically the hand scale body, essentially, with a couple of new parts on there, and then a regular frame arms girl head on top. So if you guys have built any of the hand scale kits, or if you built any of like the Hexagear kits or the Zombinoid kits, they're all in like the same kind of build style, this is going to be very similar to that. So although it is small, it does have a ton of detail on there, and then lots of articulation as well. Out of the box, it is going to be missing some colors here and there, so you will want to go in and probably detail paint it to make it totally color accurate, or at the very least do some panel lining on there maybe just to bring out some of those details as well. But just as a cute little kit, I gotta say it's definitely very successful. But we do have a couple of accessories to take a look at, so let's go ahead and get into those. So as for our accessories to go along with this, they're also going to be quite small, like this teeny tiny cute little base for this. So you got a few points of articulation here for this where you can bend that as needed, and the whole thing will just rotate just on this very simple base there, which is going to look really nice. Now, this doesn't plug into the back directly just because there's no hard point here on the back. As you can see, there's a couple holes right here, but that actually is a different size. It's not 3mm. It looks like probably more like 2mm maybe. Anyway, but what we have here is an adapter piece which you can plug onto here, onto the base like that, and then that fits in the backpack here, just kind of like right between those two little sections right there, and that just holds the kit on there like that, nice and secure. And as you just saw a moment ago, it stands just fine on its own, so you don't really necessarily need that, but depending on the pose, I mean, it's certainly nice to have. You got your face option parts or face option parts, and then another blank one that you can use those water slide decals on if you want. For the weapons, we've got the bazooka here, which is just two halves sandwiched together, so you will have a little bit of a seam on that, but again, very nicely detailed, and that just fits down into the hand nice and easily. And speaking of hands, you've got closed fists there, you've got your holding hands, which you're going to use for that bazooka and kind of any other handheld type weapon. But then we do also have a set of open expressive hands like this as well, which again are very tiny. And then we've got a couple of these handle parts, and these are if you wanted to use any other type weapon with this. Basically, this just gives you a handle which will plug into any type of 3mm hardpoint. So you could use this for any of the different modeling support goods type weapons or option parts, things like that, or kit bashing this with other kits. You can use this handle as a way for this kit to be able to hold on to other accessories. And then last but not least, we've got the combat knife. Now this one has a little connection piece with a little peg on there that you can plug this onto the kit, but otherwise it's just going to be all molded in just this one single white piece there for the knife. And that's really going to be about it. So I mean, really the same set of accessories that you would expect with kind of any version of the Gourai, any version that's ever come out has basically come with that. Now it does also have this little cannon here over the shoulder, and now that can be rotated to kind of point forward, sort of like that, and then back around here on the back of the legs. Obviously the tank treads can fold down there like that. I mean, it's all pretty simple, but again, like I mentioned, you have a lot of articulation built into this, although it's a very simple and small kit, and simple just because of the fact that it's so small. I mean, there's really not any way they could have packed any more parts into this without them being like really super tiny microscopic, because some of these parts already are really small. But it is pretty amazing the amount of articulation and the amount of poses that you're able to do with something this small in this scale. So let's go ahead and try some out. But before we do that, let's also just take a quick look here at a size comparison. Here she is with the Frame Arms Girl / Sosai Shoujo Teien Ao Ganai kit, which we'll be taking a look at in an upcoming review. But with Ao there being in 1/10 scale, you can get just kind of a general sense of the size of this kit. It's quite small, of course. Anyway guys, here taking a look at a few different posing options with this. It's a great little kit, obviously just because of the size of it. As I've mentioned before, there is a lot of great articulation that you do have in there considering the size. That being said, it is going to be, of course, a little bit limited in terms of just the variety of poses and things that you can do with this. I mean, just because it is so small, so there's a lot that you can do with it, but of course it still has limitations anyway. Though it's a really cool kit, like I said, a lot of detail there. It would take a little bit of, hand painting work to really bring out all the little details in there, but I think if you were to go in and just paint in a few of the details, do a little bit of panel lining, spray some top coat, especially on those armor pieces, spray some matte top coat on there, it would look really cool. Even do like a little bit of dry brush kind of weathering stuff on a little bit of that armor, and I think it would look really, really cool. But that's my thoughts on this kit. What do you guys think about this new line from Kotobukiya, the Qpmini line? It's very similar to hand scale, it's just got a little bit different proportions to it with the full size head on there, and at the very least, I mean, you could use it for kit bashing. If you have the hand scale Gourai, you could like swap the heads. You could use the parts for the head from this kit on the regular Frame Arms Girl Gourai kit, or on any other particular kit. So you can keep this kit as it is if you kind of just like it for what it is, or you could get it and just use it for kit bashing as another option. I think is perfectly viable for a kit like this. So let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below, and if you guys are interested in this kit or anything else Frame Arms Girl related, or anything else from Kotobukiya in general, you can check out the link in the video description to USA Gundam Store or down in the video description below. Yeah, there we've got all sorts of the modeling support goods, parts, and weapons and stuff that you could use with this as well. And then there's paints, tools, supplies, and all sorts of good stuff there. And again, thank you to Kotobukiya for sending this out for me to check out and share with you guys. I'm really anxious to know kind of what you guys think about this new line, so be sure to let me know in the comment section. If you'd also like to like and subscribe while you're here, I would greatly appreciate it, guys. But until the next one, hope y'all have a great day, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.